Hey gang, Jim Farmer here. It's late June and I'm just coming back in from fishing and caught some nice fish on the Spybait this morning, so I wanted to kind of share a few things with you and show you the gear that I'm using and kind of talk about the technique, Spybait technique a little bit. Caught some good ones today. Caught one 4-3 that I've got on, I hope I got it on video. I gotta look at it, but I had the video camera rolling when I caught it, so hopefully everything came out. But talk about the Spybait a little bit. It's going to be a good bait to use for the next probably 3 months, something like that, off and on. You'll have good days on the Spybait and you'll have bad days, but talking about the gear a little bit. Back, I think it was January or February, I bought some Cast King rods and reels, and one of the rods that I bought was a Speed Demon rod. It's a 7.3 medium rod, and I wanted to use it for my little Kitech swim bait during the winter time, and so it worked out really well. And I had mentioned that I'd probably use it as a Spybait rod in the summer. Well, I tied my first Spybait on it probably a couple weeks ago, started throwing it a little bit, and it's been getting better and better. So the rod that I'm using is a Cast King Speed Demon rod, 7.3 medium, probably fast action on the tip. I like it because I can really whip this little Spybait, Duo Realis G-Fix Spybait around pretty good. This thing's like a little bullwhip for me, and I love it for these smaller baits, whipping these smaller baits around. The reel that I'm using, Cast King reel, another Speed Demon. It's a Speed Demon reel. It's got a little different gear ratio to it. It's geared a little bit different and takes a little getting used to. But the thing about the Spybait is when you find the right speed with the Spybait, well, you start catching fish. So with the gearing a little bit different on the Speed Demon, it takes a little getting used to slow it down, to get it to the speed you want, to get it to the speed that the fish are going to react to it. So that's the rod and reel. The line that I'm just using straight fluoro. I'm using some Tatsu, 8-pound Tatsu. What I like about the Tatsu is it's really tough. It's a little more expensive, but you know, I'll pay the extra money for a tough line. It's pretty tough, and the 8-pound has about the diameter of the 6-pound Sunline FC Sniper. So the thing about these Spybaits in the line is you want to go light with your line, because the lighter you go with the line, the more action the Spybait has. And when I'm talking about action, what I'm talking about is when you bring this through the water slowly, why it shimmies back and forth. It just kind of rocks back and forth. And that's what you want it to do. You want it to kind of rock back and forth. Because when it rocks back and forth, like this one here, this Spybait has like a little blue hue to it. And when this rocks back and forth or it shimmies, it kind of flashes on the side, and that's what the fish reacts to. A lot of times if you use heavier line, it won't rock back and forth, it won't shimmy, and the fish won't react to it because it's coming straight through the water. But you'll find you'll catch a lot more fish if you use lighter line. And I'm telling you, when I first started using Spybaits, a lot of times I was using 5 and 6-pound test, 5-pound test. But you got to use that lighter line, because the lighter line that you use, the more action you're going to get, side-to-side action or shimmy out of this thing. And another thing you want to do is you want to keep your drag loose. I'm talking loose. Now when you watch the video, when I get done talking here, you're going to see how loose that drag is. And I'll tell you why. Is because a lot of times these bigger fish, when they bite the Spybait, they're just going to nip at the back of it, and they'll just maybe get one barb just in a little bit of meat on their lip. And if you have like let's say that you have a medium heavy rod, or you have your drag cinched down a little too tight, well, that's going to pop that little hook out, and it's happened time and time again. So you want to set your drag kind of loose. I'm not talking real loose, because you'll see in the video in a minute, that fish that I caught, he was trying to get down into the brush. He was driving. So if I had the drag too loose, I wouldn't be able to keep him from going down in the brush, and that's what he was doing. He was looking for brush. drag too tight, well, it's maybe going to pop out, you know, and I'm going to lose a nice fish. So you got to keep that drag kind of loose, but still so you can pull on the fish a little bit. And if he starts going down like he's trying to get in the brush, do like I did in the video. Lift that rod tip way up high in the air. Force him to kind of turn his head up. So that's what I did in the video. So Spybait's a real fun bait to use in the summertime. It just takes some getting used to. But just remember, light line, you get the right speed with it. Whenever you cast it, I make a long cast. If there's wind, I try and stay upwind of the brush. Cast downwind with this thing, you'll get a longer cast. And right now I'm counting it down to about 10 or 12. Just a steady, slow retrieve. A lot of times if you have the right sensitive rod, well, you can feel this thing shimmy as it goes through the water. And as it gets closer to the boat, you'll see your rod tip start bouncing as it's rocking back and forth. That way you know you've got the right speed. When you're good sized fish. He's looking for the brush. But he ain't gonna find it out here. It's 43 feet deep. So it's just a matter of wearing him out. But you gotta have that drag set. He's coming up to jump. You gotta have that drag set loose on these spybaits. I'm getting ready to land him here. Let's see if we can get a quick weight on him. Okay. Got it zeroed out. 4-3.